Hello everyone. Today we're going to make a constraint file for the 4:1 mux source file that we made last video. So this is our module. We have 4 inputs for the input bus, 2 inputs for the select line bus, and 1 output for the output. Suppose we want to map the select lines to these switches and the inputs here and the output here. What we need to do is obtain this constraint file template for this board. Then we're going to find the parts, the lines in that file that correspond to these switches, and that LED. And then we're going to replace, then we're going to specify in those lines to use the I bit and the S bits and the output. So for this, to get the right constraint file, you need to go to this link here. And since I'm using the Nexus 4 DDR master, it's this constraint file template. So you would copy this in and then paste it in here. So you will just do it from scratch. You can see the whole process. So copy it, paste it in here. And we want to map the output to LED 0. So we go to the LED section. It was named out. So we do out. Then we wanted I0 to be mapped to switch 0, I1 to be mapped to switch 1, I2 to be mapped to be switch 2, I3 to be mapped to switch 3. So go here, find our switches. Change it to I because that's the name of this signal here. Then finally, we wanted to map the select line here. Select line is just S. So, and we save it. Click generate bitstream. Yes. Then here at the top right, oops, don't want to click that. Here at the top right, it's gonna be saying that it's generating, and we have to wait till this to finish. So I'm gonna skip forward now. So the bitstream has finished generating, but for some reason it failed. So we're gonna debug that right now. To debug, you go into messages here, unspecified IO standards. So here. Oh, the mistake was this. In our source file, it's switch 1-0, but in our constraint file, we didn't map it accordingly, so. So now it'll be generated correctly. I'm going to skip forward right now. Alright everyone, so the bitstream has finished generating, and this time it finished with no errors. So, hold on. So, once it finished generating, you're going to plug in the FPGA like that. You're going to make sure your power is on. Then what you're going to do is you're going to go to Program Device. Oh. Yeah, so then that comes up. Then when I click Program, it's going to program it. Oops. Whenever that happens, go here, then select the correct bit file. And you can know the directory to navigate to by kind of looking up here and going into the implementation folder. And you need to make sure that that bit has the name of your top level module, which in our case is mux 4-1. So that was correct. So, okay, program. So it's programmed now. And if you remember, this is how we mapped it. So let's test it. Right now we have the select lines here as 0, 0. So that means when I0 gets toggled, the output will reflect that. So right now it's 0. So it's not going to be anything, but if we change it to 1, it got reflected. I'm going to change it back so you can very clearly see that's based on this one. But now what if we want this one to be it? Well, we got to change the select line to be 1. So now only this one changes it because we've selected the first one and this one does nothing. Again, if we want this one to matter, we need to select it. 2 in binary, 0, 1, 2. So that was this one. Then if we want to do 3, it's this one. So that is how you make a constraint file for the 2-to-1 mux, and that's how you deploy it on your board. And again, if you have a different board, mine says Nexus for DDR. If it says something else, you need to go to this link and get the one that you need and repeat the process. But anyway, that's all for now.